We said earlier that your team needs to develop respectful agreement around the specific language that fits their prospects. This is also known as an operational definition. It ensures that various individuals can look at the same account situation and make the same observations. At the end of the video, we'll provide some examples of how this standardized language really quickly improves revenue. But before we get there, I want to give you some simple procedures to follow with your team to develop it. The goal is for your salespeople to simply tell the truth about what they're observing in their accounts. They shouldn't fear any consequences for doing this. The qualification questions identify a characteristic and provide a list of 4 or 5 observable traits within that characteristic that make the sales opportunity more or less likely to be successful. So I want to give you an example. This one is from what was called a coach network, or some people call them sponsor, right? Somebody in the account who wins if you win and can help you win. And you know why they want to help you win. So I'm just going to read through it, right? What's the quality of your coach network? Don't know. Not very good chance of being successful with this one if you don't know anyone. I have a contact, but they have no influence. Maybe it's a receptionist or something. I know someone who wants me to win, but they have no influence. Maybe it's a friend who works in the company. I know at least one person who can coach me. I have several coaches in different departments and at different levels of hierarchy. It's getting stronger. Finally, I have several coaches around the organization, and one of them is the decision maker. So you can see what we're trying to get to here. Now, to come up with a thorough list, you'll need to bring the team together, perhaps over a series of meetings, show them the example question, and explain that first you need to identify a variety of general characteristics that they think are important to know about their prospects. Just ask them to start brainstorming, writing down what they come up with as they go along. You might want to review the popular qualification schemes like BANT and MEDIC, looking for big general words that resonate most. Then ask the team questions such as these to see if they trigger other categories. What should you be able to observe in your prospect that indicates the extent or urgency of their need? What do their customers do or say that proves that they have authority to buy? Who within the account would be a valuable coach? On the right-hand side is a list of topics that you might want to consider. Profile information like industry, size of firm, geographic location, creditworthiness, source of contact, who initiated it. Is it a referral? Where did it come from? What ad or offer did they respond to? What's the extent of their need or pain or urgency or lack of it, if they face easy alternatives? What is their culture or attitude towards suppliers? Are they always going to choose the lowest bidder? Or are they willing to pay for value? The depth of your knowledge of them, relationship in the account, strength of coach network, as we said before, access to decision makers, and so forth. And then their decision-making process. Is one person doing everything, or is there a team following some sort of method? Finally, there's a lot of value in identifying the qualities you appreciate about your best customers. As an example, I had a high-end machine tool manufacturer who realized that their best customers paid an awful lot of attention to training their people and maintaining their equipment. Always had current, up-to-date, as-built blueprints and everything. Now, adding these characteristics to the qualification criteria increased their close ratio by a surprising amount because it ensured that the sales engineers spent the most time on these highest quality accounts. So once you get the criteria worked out, then for each one, have the team brainstorm out the observable traits that would be more or less likely for them to become a successful customer. Now, often you can start with a 0, don't know, that's easy, right? And then maybe add the one that would be a 4 or a 5, most likely to win characteristic. And then see if there's some in the middle there that come to mind that you would observe. Don't worry if you can't fill out all 4 or 5 possibilities the first time through, that's no problem. These will emerge later on as you get more experience and are able to improve on the questions. Here's the thing. During these discussions, newer salespeople are going to learn what the old hands think and why they think that way. And the old hands are going to learn from others how to deal with difficult situations. Everyone achieves a more precise way of looking at the real world, and when you're finished, you can put these into practice as I'll describe in the next video, but when you're finished, you'll realize that salespeople are starting to think differently and act in ways that will actually improve sales productivity. For example, the new criteria is more realistic because it's based on salespeople's best theory of success. This is going to increase forecast accuracy. It helps salespeople realize what they don't know and what they need to know about their prospects. Often, this can help reduce discounting. It tunes their ear for what they're looking for and what they should avoid, and helps them stop jumping to conclusions about their prospects. And it makes it easier for salespeople to walk away from poor quality sales opportunities. And finally, it's something few of your competitors will have ever done, and that's going to give you an advantage. Now, in the next video, those improvements to your team's knowledge and culture, they'll be evident, but so far it's only between the salespeople's ears. We talked about needing to build it into the business, right? Make it easier for salespeople to do this. And that's what we'll talk about in the next video. You're going to make this a path of least resistance. And when you do, when they're using their qualification criteria to actually measure the quality of their prospects, it becomes even more powerful.